drama of Upagupta and Vasavadatta. Upagupta was a disciple of a Buddhist saint who lived in Mathura sometime between 3rd century BC and 1st century AD. He was known to have lived during the reign of Emperor Ashoka. At the same time, Vasavadatta, a dancer, lived in the city of Mathura. She was well known for her beauty and dance. She was believed to be the most beautiful courtesan who had enthralled the audience with her flawless dance moves.
In fact, the entire city of Madura was under her spell, and she was well aware of her fame amongst his people. Smitten by pride of her beauty, she turned down many who showered her with praises. Due to unimaginable twists it turns in her life, she is shunned by the same people who earlier craved to have a glimpse of her. In the end, abandoned by her admirers and acquaintances, she is left known to nurse her physical wounds. Her meeting with Gupta for the second time, and how he led her onto the road of peace and serenity, forms the crux of the story.
precious ornament.
With you, to those who are sick, I will care for you. To those who want to follow the way of Buddha, I will teach you the sutras.
With these words, the wandering monk Upagupta would announce his arrival at every village he visited.
On this day, Upagupta had walked many miles under the scorching sun. As the sun retreated from the heaven, he lay down on a soft patch of grass and fell asleep to a jungle symphony of twittering parrots and monkeys.
At the same time, Vasavadatta, filled with abundant joy and happiness, is on her way to her palace.
Lamps were all out, doors were all shut, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August. She stumbles over the sleeping ascetic. He woke up startled, and a light from a woman's lamp fell on his forgiving eyes. She raised her lamp and saw young face austerely beautiful. Forgive me, young ascetic. Graciously come to my house. The dusty earth is not fit bed for you.
When the time is right, I will come to you.
The disappointed Vasavadatta turns around to go on her way. Suddenly, the storm growled from the corner of the sky and revealed its mammoth face. The woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger.
A year has not yet passed. It was evening of a day in April. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of a flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. The citizens had gone to the woods for the festival of flowers. From the mid sky gazed the full moon on the shadows of the silent town.
Upagupta, the young ascetic, passed through the city gates and stood at the base of the rampart. A mysterious impulse bade him to enter the woods. As he wandered about, he heard the pitiful moans of one in great pain. He hurried towards the cries and found a woman in tattered rags that barely clothed her body. Terrible sores covered her skin. Her hands were shriveled claws.
Vasavadatta,
Upagupta exclaimed as he recognized the once attractive dancing girl. Her beauty had long ago fled with the arrival of disease. As the compassionate ascetic approaches her, the pitiful Vasavadatta is reluctant to show her ugly face, and she pleads between sobs not to touch her. But Upagupta, with all his tenderness, puts aside her fears and offers her water. Poor Vasavadatta drinks the water to her heart's content, as it has been many months since anyone had shown her even the smallest kindness. "Who are you, merciful one?" she asks.
I am Upagupta, your friend. The time at last has come to visit you, and I am here. Vasavadatta, you are sorry for losing your beauty, which lasts only as long as you are young. You are yet to discover a beauty greater than that you have lost, the beauty of the self. Light the lamp within you, only then will you find true peace. Light the lamp within you, only then will you find true peace.
Quietly, Vasavadatta began to think and repeat to herself.
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam
I cannot cross.
Sangham saranam Shah